Welcome. It's Saturday. It's like 11 something p.m. I, for a second, was thinking of not recording this because, well, it's a Saturday and it's 11 fucking p.m. But I did say to myself that I was gonna record an episode every single day for this week, and that's what we're doing. So I'm just gonna get straight to the point because we have no time to waste today. Today we're in a different scene, different scenario. The scenario for today is my fucking bed and the window. I think this is a cool little. This actually looks kind of nice. Can't lie to y'all. This feels like a little. This feels like there's a little sexual tension going on, in my opinion, which I don't really enjoy, but I can enjoy the fact that we're in a different. We have a different background, but whatever. Either way, what's the topic for today? There's two topics. The first topic is the fact that I'm recording this at 11 p.m. and everyone's in the house, so I might not be but not feel as comfortable as speaking with the energy that I usually have, the energy that I usually do these episodes with. But that's all good. It's all good in the hood. It don't matter. I just had dinner. I was hungry. I was starving. Some might even say. Came from paddle. I hadn't played paddle in a while. I think paddle is a little overhated, but it's a cool sport to play and learn. Not gonna lie. I think it's besides ping pong, table tennis, I think paddle is the most enjoyable racket game you can play. I don't think it's hard at all. I think paddle is even easier to play than ping pong, table tennis. Not gonna lie. I love the fact that there's different games. There's tennis, there's table tennis, there's paddle, there's what's the name of the stupid fucking game that old people play? It's not cricket. You guys know they have these weird rackets. The rackets are really weird. They're in a. I don't even know how to describe the shape. There's like the handle, and it's like this, and it just becomes like it's like a weird rectangle. What? No, it's not cricket. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I really like playing paddle, como mis hermanos españoles dicen. Vale. But yeah, I think it's a cool sport. I don't think it's hard to play at all. I think the only thing you need to be good at paddle when you're playing against shit people like me is just to lob the ball constantly until they just fall for the bait and just try to smash it and miss. So I think that's the easiest way to play padel. But anyways, let's keep it moving, let's keep it grooving, let's keep it flowing, let's keep it going back and forth, let's keep it going up and down like a damn yo-yo. Okay, it's a nice little saying. Up and down like a yo-yo. I haven't thought of a yo-yo in a while. I don't think I played much with yo-yos when I was a little kid. Did you guys play a lot with yo-yos when you were kids? I don't think I did. I think I kind of did. I remember I had like a Buzz Lightyear yo-yo that I got at Disneyland Paris. Because I went to Disneyland Paris when I was a little kid. I don't remember. Traveling as a little kid / baby, I think traveling from the ages of 0 to, let's say, 7 is useless. Just don't take me. Just don't take me. Why are you taking me to travel with you, mom and dad? I'm not going to remember anything, and I'm just going to be crying and being annoying the whole fucking trip. Just leave me with someone. Leave me at a foster home for a couple of weeks, a couple of days. No one travels for weeks unless you're going to Japan or a different continent. Unless you're going to a different continent, no one travels for a week. If you're going to Paris, you're probably staying there for like 3, 5. It's between like 4 and 6 days. That's way too much, 6 days, but usually it's like between 3 and 5. Let's say 4 nights. I think 4 nights is okay, especially to go to Disneyland Paris. And I think that, I genuinely think that if you have little kids and you take them on trips, I don't get that. I get that you want your little kids to also have those experiences, but aren't those experiences just so super fucking useless? Do you know what I mean? This might be a cool little psychological thing to explore. Like, do you guys think that little kids just remember these experiences, mold them into the people they actually eventually become? So do you guys think that if I didn't go with my parents to Cuba when I was like, I don't know, 6, 7, I don't know, do you guys think, I don't remember shit from those trips, by the way. I just remember like one time I almost drowned at the beach because I got caught in like a wave. I don't know how you say that in English. A tunnel? It's not a tunnel. It's like, it's when the waves are crashing and you're stuck underneath a wave. That happened to me. That's the only thing I remember from Cuba. It's like, basically, this is what happened in my head. Okay, I drowned. Okay, I passed out. Okay, I was deep in the trenches. I was deep underwater. I became Aquaman for a couple of minutes. Aqua Kid. I became Aqua Kid for a couple of minutes in my head. Okay. And I come back and I'm just at shore. Shore, like I probably moved like 50 centimeters. Like I wasn't in deep ocean or anything like that. That's the only thing I remember. Is this a psychological? Yeah, this might be this is a dope premise. Like the traveling with little kids, because they're not going to remember anything. This is a nice one to explore. So in my opinion, I think traveling with little kids is kind of useless, but at the same time, it probably molds them into the people they become. Okay. For example, I also went to Brazil and I don't remember shit. This is also the interesting and funny fact about these trips is that you by yourself, you don't remember anything. But if people that you traveled with, like for example, my parents say, oh, do you guys remember when we used to sleep in bed and we had a mosquito net around our bed? Then all of a sudden, I think subconsciously, you just start imagining these things that you absolutely didn't fucking believe, and it's probably just a misrepresentation of what actually existed in that memory. This memory wasn't a thing until someone mentioned a bed with a mosquito net around it. You know what I mean? This wasn't a thing that I knew or thought of. This wasn't the thing that if I just closed my eyes and said, okay, let's try to remember Brazil in 2006 or 2005. No. But if someone tells me, do you remember when? I'm like, maybe, that's kind of bullshit. But yeah, what's the positive? What's the argument for taking the kids with you? Spending time with the kids, which I think every parent wants to. Another positive, giving your kids experiences, which I think is what every parent also wants to do. Right? Just giving them experiences in general. Great experience. Traveling is a great experience, right? Besides that, just trying to expose them to different cultures, I guess. But again, if they don't remember it, does that mold them at all? So, for example, if you're a little kid and you were born, say, China, China might not be a good example because, I mean, culturally it's very different. I was gonna say, for example, you're born in China and you live there until you're like 6 years old, and then you move to America. And let's say you didn't move with your parents, or that you did move with your parents, but everything that you have when it comes to education, when you move to America, is American culture. It's everything related to being American and the culture of America. Are you gonna, let's pretend the parents also converted to Americanism, right? Is this child gonna have any Chinese in him? You know what I mean? Because he's not gonna remember anything, not anything, but I don't think he's gonna remember properly much from China, besides probably the language, or not, I don't know. This is my argument. My argument is that he's not gonna be remembering much. 6, 7, 8 might be ages in which he or she starts remembering, but let's say 5. I think 5. Like, I don't even know what I hate when people do when people ask me these types of questions, like, oh, what's your first memory, brother? I don't fucking know. I'll just lie to you. I'll just lie to you and say that my first memory was walking around in the house in doggy style, just roaming. I don't fucking know what's my first memory, bro. What the fuck is that kind of question? Do you remember your first memory? Because I surely don't. What the fuck is a first memory? My first memory is probably what I had for breakfast, which I probably don't even remember. You know? So, what the fuck is up with that? Like, my first memory might actually be being in this room, because this room used to be a room that me and my brother shared. But when it was just me, maybe he was already born. But we had these like chests, like Fortnite chests in our room, and with a bunch of toys. And I remember just existing, like looking over those chests, you know, looking, searching, whatever. Looting, some might even say. But yeah, I don't know. Traveling with your kids just seems kind of pointless. Unless they reach a certain age in which you do know that they will remember. But I think subconsciously, as a parent, you're always going to be thinking that they're going to remember something. There's probably studies made on this, but when do kids start remembering things? There's got to be an age, because there's no way as a little kid, as a person, you remember anything from when you were 6 months old, or you remember. Why is that though? Why don't we remember anything when we are so young? Why don't we remember anything when we were in the womb? Because we're already developed, you know, like we're not developed like completely or anything like that, but I'd say why aren't we forming memories? Why don't I remember? It's interesting. Do you think babies in the womb ever open their eyes? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, whoa, that's interesting. Do you think a baby in the womb ever opens his eyes and it's just a doctor? Like, do they even see anything on the outside? If the sun is really shining, if the sun is bright on that fucking belly, you think a kid can see something like veins and shit on the outside? Oh, that's interesting. That's another silly little topic. Maybe. But I think what's more interesting is why we don't remember anything from when we were super young. Why does it just feel like a time jump? Because we were definitely living back then, right? But why does it just feel like a time jump? You know? Like, I remember a lot of things from high school. I remember a lot of things from middle school, preschool. I remember things from that. I remember the first time I heard a curse word. Not a curse word. So in Portugal, there's this homophobic slur, which I'm not gonna fucking say. But I remember so vividly the first time I heard it. And I don't think, okay, as a little kid, you have no idea of what words mean, right? So you just hear a guy say, oh, this is a slur, isto é uma asneira, and he just says the word. I remember this is probably the first time I ever laughed uncontrollably with like a random person, someone who's not my family. Oh my God, I remember so vividly. I was in the park in my school. We had like a little park that had slides and shit. And then, you know, when you have like the slide is on like the second floor and beneath it is like a little house, like underneath the slide. And me and this guy were there and he just taught me how to say that slur. Oh, I remember it so vividly. I'm reminiscing a homophobic slur. This is insane. This is insane work. But it's just, I don't know. I'm just telling you stuff that I vividly remember when I was probably like 6 years old here. 6. Okay? So yeah, I'm probably but why don't we remember stuff from when we were babies? Are we that stupid when we're babies? You know what I mean? Like, why are we not forming? I feel like we're not forming memories, but at the same time, I think our foundation, the core of our thoughts, is being created during those years. So at the same time, how can we not have memories from those times, but also just that be a thing that is so deep within us. Does that make sense? Probably not. So my argument, my question is, why is it that we don't actively have memories of things that probably just make us the people that we are nowadays? You know, like our most basic principles, our most basic thoughts, the way we look at people, the way we approach the world and life in general. Those are probably the foundations that start being settled in us from a very, very early age, but we don't remember anything from those years. You know, I think I'm running circles on this topic, which I didn't want to. I think this is an existential question. Not gonna lie to you fellas. I think this is an amazing premise / topic to actually try and write a joke, especially the flying with your kids when they are young and you know they're not going to remember it. Because I've never seen anyone I don't watch that much stand-up comedy, as you guys know. You definitely don't know because I haven't said this in English, but I think this would be a hit. But I don't think it's going to be a hit if it's me saying it, because I'm 25. I could speak on it from my perspective, which could also be interesting and funny, but I can't speak on the perspective of like the person who's taking the kids on vacation. So I'd always have to speak on the perspective of my opinion and my reality, let's put it that way. Yeah, this was interesting. I think we're going to leave it at that. I really enjoyed this episode. I love doing the English podcast as well, because you guys want to know why. Okay, I love the fact that I asked the question to no one. Should probably stop speaking in plural and speak more in an individual level, because I feel like that's more personal and it feels more like we're on a one-on-one call on Teams, you know. But I don't remember what I was saying. Well, that's unfortunate. No, I was saying that I'm really enjoying doing the English podcast, because the Portuguese one, I do it and it's highly / very focused on clips for social media. And I feel the pressure when I have to have those topics, because I need to have at least 8 topics for each episode. I have a bunch of them already written now. I've never done an episode in which I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have topics for this one, I'm fucked. No, but I do like the fact that I can just ramble for 20 minutes on an episode like this about just one topic and go on different tangents, which is the whole purpose of this, which is really interesting. I know, I like it. I don't know if you guys like it or not. I don't know if you like it or not. See, I need to change my mentality on this one. Not mentality, but the way I approach these episodes. But yeah, I think I really liked this one. I don't know if it was enjoyable for you guys, but it definitely was for me, because I was able to, and I think the topics were interesting. I usually just bring one and I didn't even do it. The topic for today was supposed to be giving money to the homeless. And I just started rambling on other stuff, which is awesome. So, yeah. I think this episode is going to be named Traveling with Kids Who Are Not Going to Remember. No. What's a good name for this episode? Traveling with Kids Who Won't Remember the Trip. That's a long ass name. I love it. Oh, by the way, a guy that I've been loving, I'm going to get up close and personal for this one. There's this guy on TikTok and Instagram. He is on TikTok, but that's not his thing. He's called Jimskin. I think that's his name. Oh, bro, I just love him. So far, no controversy, but I just think it's really funny. The whole concept of the things he does, the things he says. Ooh, follow the tune, brother. In his sight. Oh, come on.